Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching all our videos. My name is Albert Wille. This is a company called Mind Prosperity and we are teaching and focusing on the importance of emotional intelligence. Before I begin with today's message, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Please make sure you ring the bell to get notified. Please leave some comments and some questions, and also please send this message to friends and relatives. You know, we've been studying on the importance of emotional intelligence in life today, and you won't believe how many great things we have found. So please keep tuning. Please invite people to watch. And I'm also doing individual sessions. So if you want to contact me for individual sessions that I can do on social media platforms like Zoom, so you can do sessions with me wherever you are in the world. So please join me for some sessions. I also do emotional intelligence in the workplace. I have a whole booklet that I work through in the workplace called Emotional Intelligence in the Workplace. And then our company has many areas of teaching and training that we do. So please email me if you are interested in any of those areas. Like I said, we also do it on social media platforms, so you can be anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world and make use of this. Thank you so much. I'm very excited about today's message, 10 ways to increase emotional intelligence. We had a few videos where we spoke about emotional intelligence, so we will put the links in so you guys can go watch it. And today we're going to speak about 10 ways to increase emotional intelligence. So just to recap quickly, what is emotional intelligence? According to Martins, Romano, and Morin, this is the definition they gave. They said being able to recognize what we and other people feel and finding ways to deal with those emotions is what psychologists call emotional intelligence. Marinas in 2020 spoke about interpersonal, intrapersonal intelligence, and you know, this is something that's been going on for years. But what is interpersonal intelligence? What is intrapersonal intelligence? And this is exactly what emotional intelligence is all about. Interpersonal intelligence has the ability to understand others and how to effectively work with others. People with an interpersonal intelligence has the ability to comprehend the moods, intentions, and motives of other people. I once spoke to one of my psychologists that I'm close to, and I said to him, you know, it's very important to go through something, or if you go through something that other people went through, it's easier to help them. And this is what he said. He said it's not always, because you know, you can go through something, but if you don't have the ability or the interpersonal intelligence to understand other people's feelings, to understand other people's personalities, you cannot really relate to them and you cannot help them, although you went through that same thing. So it's extremely important to understand other people, understand other people's feelings, understand other people's emotions as far as you can. And this is what emotional intelligence is all about. And this is such an important thing to relate with other people. So he went further to speak about intrapersonal intelligence, and he said people with an intrapersonal intelligence has the ability to comprehend their own moods, intentions, and motivations. So the ability to understand myself, the ability to understand how I feel, how I react, how I perceive things, and then the ability to understand other people, their moods, their emotions, their perceptions is a very important thing. And also to understand, like, other people don't deal with things the same way I deal with things. Other people don't see things, perceive things the way I perceive things is a very important part of emotional intelligence and dealing with other people, having relationships, and so forth. So 10 ways to increase emotional intelligence. Let us go. Number 1, respond instead of react. When you have an emotional trigger that is undealt with, you just react. You react in anger, you react in frustration, you just react in that emotion. Respond is where you get to a place, and remember we spoke about the importance of bringing the neocortex in, bringing the thinking or the logical brain in when you deal with things. To respond is actually to respond in a logical way. When I feel something, try to think about it, try to reflect on it before you just react. So that is respond instead of reacting. Number 2, practice ways to maintain a positive attitude. And why do I say practice ways? You know, to practice something or to train yourself with something doesn't necessarily come natural in the beginning. That's why you have to train yourself. You have to train your thinking. You have to train your attitude, just like you exercise in the gym. If you go to the gym, you don't necessarily always know immediately what to do. Your muscles get stiff, you get sore very easily, but the more you do it, especially when you get a trainer, you develop something more. And I believe your attitude and your mindset is the same. You wanna train this thing, you wanna exercise this thing. Now remember, number 1 and 2 both has to do with yourself, and I wanna connect that that to intrapersonal intelligence. And then number 3 has more to do with your interpersonal intelligence, how you relate to other people. So number 3 is then be approachable. And this is a very difficult thing sometimes when we are in our emotions or where emotional triggers take over. You kind of get to that place where people don't want to get close to you because you just want to push them away and you want to be alone. But it's very important to say, listen, as far as I can, I want to learn and teach and train myself to be approachable. Now, in these things that I'm speaking about and in these steps that I'm giving you, remember, all of these things has to be trained. All of these things has to be developed. It's not just something that's going to come naturally in the beginning, although we want it to come naturally, to make sure to say, okay, I'm in my emotions, I don't feel well emotionally, but I still want to be approachable. I still want people to be able to approach me, even if I am in my emotions. So it's important sometimes to say, okay, because I want people to approach me, because I want people to be able to come close to me, maybe I have to take a few minutes, maybe I have to take maybe an hour or so just to be alone, to think about my feelings, to think about my emotions, to deal with some things. Maybe I quickly have to speak to a leader or to an authority figure or to a friend that's actually good in counseling about emotions so that I can be approachable to other people. Train yourself to do that. Number 4, celebrate the positive and don't ignore the negative. Now, by this I'm saying, don't hide the negative. Don't say the negative is not there, but get to a place where you can celebrate the positive. Say, for instance, you are in your emotions at work. You're in the workplace. Something has happened. Something negative has happened. Without denying the negative, try to think about the positive things. Try to think about the good things and bring the balance between the two and say, yes, I have to deal with the negative, but I have to admit there are positive things and there is a focus on positive things. You can do it in relationships, in marriage, to say, okay, great, something negative has happened. I'm not denying this, but in the process, I need to focus on the positive things as well, and I need to think about the good things as well. Number 5 is my least favorite because it's the one that I'm worst at, but it's extremely important. Number 5 is, here it is, have patience. Have patience. And having patience on yourself and with others mean be okay with it if you fail sometimes, if other people fail sometimes. If you have this goal and you want to deal with your emotions and you don't want to have emotional triggers anymore, and you want to think about the positive and you want to do all of these steps and you want to be approachable to people, and you fail sometimes, you sometimes don't get it right, you act with your emotions. Begin again, have resilience, have patience with yourself and learn to grow. And even, especially if you've been doing good for a while and then just one day it feels like you have fallen and it feels like, wow, am I back again where I've started? No, you're not back where you started. You've actually done very well. You've progressed. Sometimes it feels like you're going backwards. That's okay. Start again and grow again. So have patience. Number 6, be realistic about your emotional approach. If you feel like you're in your emotions a lot, if you feel like emotionally you're going through a bad time, if you feel like there's a lot of pressure in your life right now and you're listening to a message like this and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to have triggers anymore. I'm going to be approachable. From now on, all of this is going to be different. That's not a realistic approach. A realistic approach is more a step-to-step approach to say, okay, this is how I'm dealing now and this is how I want to deal in the future. But I want to take small steps. I want to take small goals and I want to take realistic goals to grow in, because you don't want to have this huge goal that it has to happen today, it has to happen in this week, and then you fail in those goals all the time and then you're just like, oh, okay, that beautiful dude's videos don't work. I'm just kidding. Okay, be realistic about your emotional approach. Okay, number 7, listen to the right people even if they are different. I want to say especially when they are different, and the reason why I say different is because so many people make the mistakes of, just like they have that saying, birds of the same feather flock together. Is that correct? I'm emotionally unstable, so I just hang out with other people that are emotionally unstable. I think this way, so I just hang out with other people that think that way, and that's not always healthy. That's not always good. Sometimes it's people who actually think different. It's sometimes actually people who are different that can help you, because sometimes you need a different perception, and that's why I say listen to the right people even if they are different. Like it doesn't help they are different in a negative way or they are different in an emotionally unstable way, but sometimes it is important to get help from somebody that has a different perception, different perspective, different approach, and that can help you sometimes. Number 8, avoid negativity as far as you can. And I want to say avoid negative people as far as you can. because you don't want to make a mistake and then immediately have a negative thought about that. You don't want to make a mistake and then immediately have a judgmental negative person to speak to you, and negative things are going to happen. That's what I'm trying to say. Negative things are going to happen. I'm not saying avoid negative things happening. I'm saying try to avoid being negative about it as far as you can, and try to avoid allowing negative things as far as you can. So negative things can happen in life, but I don't want to purposefully allow that in my life. I don't want to purposefully allow that in my thinking. Number 9, don't dwell in the past. And by don't dwell in the past, I'm not saying ignore the past. I'm not saying don't deal with the past. What I am saying is don't dwell in. You can say, okay, this is something that happened in the past. This is something that did hurt me. I need to speak about it. I need to bring it to the light. I need to deal with it, but I'm not going to dwell in it. I'm not going to stay in it. I'm actually going to make a goal, or I'm going to make it my purpose to say, listen, by this time, I want this thing to be dealt with. It doesn't mean it's not there anymore, but it does mean it's dealt with. It does mean that I'm not going to dwell in it anymore. And then number 10, deal with your emotions in a logical way. And when we look at emotional intelligence, this is actually something we've been speaking a lot about. You have your limbic brain, or your emotional brain. You have your neocortex, or your thinking logical brain. And we want to bring a balance between the two as far as we can. Yes, some circumstances will be more emotional, some circumstances will be more logical, but we want to say, listen, I don't want to deny my emotions. I don't want to push it away. Also, I don't want to just bring it out and deal with it not in the correct way. I want to feel it and I want to deal with it in a logical way. And this is how, and maybe I will do a session about Albert Ellis's rational emotional behavioral therapy, because that was one of my favorite theories that I've studied. But this is what Albert Ellis said in his rational emotional behavioral therapy theory. He said you have an activating event, or he calls it A. A is my activating event. Something happened to me. Then I have a belief system, which is B. B is my belief system. And then I have a consequence in the emotion, C. So A, something happened. B, I have a belief system. C, I have a consequence in the emotions. So this is what he said. He said many people think A causes C, meaning what happens to me causes my consequence in my emotion. Or to make it easier, what happened is the reason why I feel like what I feel. Or A causes my feeling. And he said, but that's not true. B causes C. B causes your feeling, B causes your emotion, and B is your belief system. So it's not what happens to me that influences my emotion, it's my belief system about what happens to me that causes my emotion. Here Albert Ellis is saying, and I want to encourage you, go read up about the rational emotional behavioral therapy, because he says an irrational thought is this thought of, no bad thing will ever happen to me, everything will be good, everything. But he says, if something bad happens to you, but you have the right belief system, the consequence in the emotion won't be as dramatic. And that's Albert Ellis's ABC theory. I hope these steps helped you guys, and thank you so much for watching our video. Many more videos are coming from the whole team here at Mind Prosperity. We love you, and we will see you soon again. Goodbye.